So in sequence, do you want to start me up? Oh, am I? Oh, happy days. Well, welcome along, everybody, to the first semi-final of the BSDRA eSailing Team Racing Championships, an event that's been running throughout the last few weeks, throughout the time we've been unfortunately locked down and not able to go sailing. So happily we've been able to sustain ourselves virtually on the water with this team racing competition, which has seen really good uptake, actually, quite a lot of entries in both the junior and the youth competition. And this is the first semi-final between the top-ranked team, Cokethorpe Crusaders, who won 7 out of 7 races in round 1. They're in the black boats, black and red, against MCS, who just sneaked through into 4th place with 5 wins out of 7. A very tight tie break with Claire's Court. So you'll see them coming up to the start line now. 15 seconds to go. The black boats from Cokethorpe and the blue and yellow from MCS. So this is, for those of you watching, 2-boat team racing, 2-boat team racing, which is a little different to the regular school team racing we do, which is 3-on-3, but very simple to follow and to understand. The important thing is, whichever team has a boat in 4th place, the team is losing the race. So you can be in 1st, but if your teammate's in 4th, you're going to have to slow down, do something about it, and get them out of 4th. So it looks like off the line, we've got the blue boat up in their pair. So potentially MCS up in 1 pair on the left and Cokethorpe ahead in 1 pair on the right. So we're already shaping up for a good race here as we just sail up the first beat. So the course is not your usual team racing course, so a little bit limited on what we can do on the game. So just windward lewards with a spreader mark at the top. But we have brought a rule into the game that means you can't go use the gate leeward mark. You have to use the left-hand leeward gate mark as you look downwind. So that's just trying to replicate the Mark III that we would have, port hand rounding Mark III we'd have on a team racing course, and just trying to limit the options a bit more, keep it realistic for team racing. So as we progress up this beat, it looks like the black and reds of Cokethorpe, so remember the top ranked team, yet to be defeated. And actually looking at their results, pretty good scores. I think they had one tight match with Eton, which they won 3-2, but the rest of them sort of 4-1, 5-0. So definitely the form team in the competition. You just see a port starboard situation coming off on the left of that beat, with the yellow boat just tacking in front. So yellow taking control of that pair, but the black boat of Cokethorpe firmly in control on the other side. So with these star boats, which we are sailing, or e-sailing here, upwind, pretty nice and slow, so it makes for quite good tactical racing upwind, which definitely suits the team racing. It's when they go downwind that they tend to get a little bit funky, because it's very easy, if you're behind, to get in people's wind shadow, take the wind, catch up and overtake. So it's actually proved quite difficult to defend from being ahead. And obviously with a downwind finish as well, that battle on the last run, as we'll see in a few minutes time, can be pretty difficult. It tends to be where it can be definitely won or lost. So can you defend downwind, or can you attack effectively upwind? And you'll also see at the moment the boat's kind of flashing and slowing down, and that means you've got a penalty. So in this game, you don't do 360s or 720s. The computer decides, sometimes fairly randomly, but often sort of in line with the rules, which boat gets a penalty, and they'll give them a red exclamation mark, warning symbol, and the boat will flash and slow down to sort of 9-10 seconds. So often when the boats are close, it can be quite good to put a penalty on your opposition. You'll see definitely a lot of penalties going here. So they're going to go around this left-hand mark as we're looking downwind. So it looks like Cokethorpe are going to be the team to round first. They do. So Cokethorpe, and actually second as well. You just see the second boat tacking off there. So Cokethorpe did a pretty good job down that run. Put a few penalties onto MCS. They've taken the upper hand 1-2 going up this beat. But it is, I would say, far from over. As we said, downwind is really where it counts. So if MCS can just work hard to keep it close when they come onto that final run, which is a slightly longer run, all the way down to the finish, they'll definitely find they have a chance to come back into the race. So the races are very rarely over. It's quite hard to sail away in this game with a kind of breakaway 1-2, unless something's really gone badly wrong for 3 and 4. So Cokethorpe just trying to sail the shift as best they can, get as much extension away as they can. It looks like definitely the blue boat from MCS is going to be relatively close, hopefully close enough to affect them. The other issue you'll have in this game is teammates getting each other's way. So Cokethorpe did a pretty good job there. One of their boats just slowing down, letting his teammate in at the mark. Not hitting each other, not getting penalties, not hitting the mark. So as clean as they could do, going on to the run. So Cokethorpe in a 1-2. So we've got Spin Move in the lead. That's Joe, captain of sailing, I believe, Cokethorpe. And his teammate Barty's in lower 6th, Laser Youth Squad sailor. And although I said that going into the run it can be quite easy to catch up, it does look as if Cokethorpe have got a pretty good lead here and may even be far enough ahead to be clear of the wind shadow of the 2 boats that are chasing down. So you may just see that the blue and yellow boats start to come in to that second place black, the Cokethorpe boat. But it may be too little too late. They may be running out of runway here to get down to the finish. So it looks like Cokethorpe in a pretty strong position. But as I say, it can all change quite last minute. I've seen that happen. Cokethorpe boat just sailing along slightly higher angle. So he was starting to feel worried that he was getting slowed down and he was sailing just straight downwind. And actually seems to be definitely quite worried about that blue boat now catching up. So as I said, it really is never over. We may see this get pretty tight at the finish. So the blue boat has managed to chase the Cokethorpe boat in black and red over to the left, which that has possibly allowed yellow to come through. So yellow will probably now look to get to the left of that Cokethorpe boat, hit back, to give them a penalty, which might see their teammate come through at the finish. So yellow's going to try and make it as difficult as they can. Blue's going to try and roll over the top. This is going to be real close. Penalties all around there. It looks like black. It's just going to get across the line. So Cokethorpe taking that. The other feature of the game is you keep going, or what I would call ghosting of a penalty. So particularly when it gets to that finish, often you'll see some boats, I wouldn't say deliberately take a penalty, but not necessarily mind taking a penalty and keep sailing towards the finish and cross the line. Obviously, you're just trying to get your boats across the line in 1st, 2nd or 3rd, not in 4th. So the team with 4th loses. On that occasion, sadly for MCS, it was them. So Cokethorpe taking out that first race with a 1-3 combination. And we're in a best of 5 competition here, so 1st to 3 wins, as I understand it. Hopefully I'm right on that. So that is 1-0 to Cokethorpe. So we're just between races here, waiting for the second race to get underway. As I say, 1-0 to Cokethorpe. I've just been informed that race 2 is open. So we'll see if I can find race 2. BSDRA 2020 minutes. So it is possible for teams to change sailors between these races, and we've actually got a pirate flag has emerged for Cokethorpe this time around. MCS has got their 2 sailors for this competition, so they've got Cyrus, captain of sailing, who apparently has awesome boat speed combined with Gaelic flair, and he's in upper 6th, so leaving school this year, and he's sailing with Ben Simmons in the other boat, year 11. Very quick sailor, says don't mention Itchener. Don't know more about that. Might be to do with coming across tides for the first time, potentially, if you're used to going out and sailing in far more. but we don't really know what happened at Itchener there. That's all the information I have. So Cokethorpe have made a substitution. Joe is sitting this one out. They've got Harrison Proctor in, second team captain in year 11. So Cokethorpe rotating through their squad. They're happy with winning the first race, 1-0 up. MCS obviously having to stick with the same 2 sailors. So 1 minute to go to the start of the second race. And this will look quite familiar to the team racing pre-starts we've seen. Both boats sort of circling around to the right-hand side of the committee boat, not trying to get into the starting area too soon and getting blocked in, or anyway coming back out on port. So you just see the black boats holding back a little bit more. They're going to try and come in at the end and potentially push the yellow and blue boats over the line. Blues circling around near that committee boat, just waiting to time their final run in, as you would see in the real sailing. You can see a penalty on the yellow boat there of Cyrus. You won't mind too much because I say you only have 10-second penalty. That'll shake out before the start, and he's back out of ghost mode. You see the Cokethorpe boats look like they're quite purposefully splitting themselves. One down at the pin end, one up at the committee boat end. So zonal starting, as you see often in team racing. So we've got the Skull and Crossbones at the pin end. Really nice start from them. So Cokethorpe getting strong starts at both the pin and boat end. So definitely having the upper hand off the start. One of the MCS boats tacking out to the right hand side. Covered as he goes. So you'll often see on these beats in 2-boat team racing, the boats will sort of pair off. So you'll see a boat that's ahead will try and pick off a boat that's behind them and cover them the whole way. You're going to see tacking from the yellow boat there, penalised for tacking. So that's going to help the black boats extend away. I'll probably now just be talking about who's going to cover who. So one of those black boats tacking off to the left with the yellow boat, the other boat happy to carry on to the right hand side. That's Barty Gray heading off to the right hand side. On the left we've got Harrison, who's come in for this race, year 11, second team captain. Nice distance on the yellow boat there, covering up the left hand side of the beat. So what has happened here though is the pairs have split a little bit. What that means is they've gone to different sides of the course, so a favourable shift to the right now could potentially get the blue boat of Ben Simmons back in ahead of the boats on the left. So often a tactic can be, if you are behind on the beats, try and one of you head to the left, one of you head to the right. The other boats will cover you or are likely to cover you. And any wind shift will unbalance the race and bring the pairs in. But in saying that, it looks like Cokethorpe have done a pretty nice job of staying tight to their pairs and bringing it in again in that 1-2 combination. But as we saw in the last race, the power will all shift as we get downwind, because as much as it's powerful to be ahead going upwind and giving dirty air to the opposition behind you, as soon as you turn downwind, you now have to become quite defensive and keeping your wind clear, particularly in these star boats where it's really easy to reel them in. We saw in the last race that Cokethorpe had a pretty decent lead. Even sort of halfway down the run, they looked pretty comfortable. One of the MCS boats just managed to get into the wind of one of the Cokethorpe boats and reel them in, which made the finish very close. And we've seen that in a lot of races here. So though Cokethorpe will be feeling pretty comfortable, they will feel a little nervous as they go onto this run. The first run is just down to the gate, and again they have to round that left-hand mark as we look downwind. So they'll feel pretty comfortable probably defending this run as it is a little bit shorter, but they'll be mindful of giving themselves as big a gap as possible as they go onto that last final run, so that they can not have to worry about the team behind covering them, giving them dirty air and reeling them in. So as much as they can, they're just trying to sail downwind. They're trying to balance the speed they can sail downwind, the angle they can sail downwind with keeping their wind clear. So yellow boat here from MCS possibly just affecting Barty. That's why he's come quite high. It's higher, faster angle, keep his wind clear. Now driving back to the mark. Meanwhile, Harrison comfortably rounding at the front, straight into attack. Doesn't matter about hitting his teammate there, they're on different legs. The game doesn't seem to mind that. Barty now rounding, so pretty comfortable. So MCS now pretty much on the back foot. You may well see them now split, one of them heading left, one of them heading right. in the hope they get covered and they can split those boats, those Coquethorpe boats to the sides and unbalance the pairs a little bit if they can. But Coquethorpe, enough of a lead to almost go into a bit of a fleet racing mode here, so they seem quite content to let that blue MCS boat sail off to the right. And the confidence that potentially a left shift, which we're just starting to see that ley line moving towards the boats, indicative of a left shift. You can also, if you're watching, see the flags up at the top, which is showing actually interesting a left shift potentially at the top and also a right shift on the right ley line, which the blue MCS boat's hoping to take advantage of. So they've just tacked a little bit under the ley line. So blue is potentially caught up a little bit here, but Coquethorpe showing good speed at that beat, if that is possible in these computer game where all the boats go at the same speed, but they look like they're sailing pretty smartly around the course. And a bit of a sort of deja vu of the first race here. Coquethorpe relatively comfortable 1-2 heading onto the run. Harrison in first, just off he goes. Good luck, Barty, is what you'll be thinking. Don't mess it up. Barty will be feeling the pressure a little bit more. Cyrus chasing him down, captain of sailing at MCS. Cyrus will just be doing his best now to attack the wind of the boat ahead of him, of Barty. As soon as he can get onto his wind, give him dirty air, really start to reel him in. Really effective in these boats. You'll see the boat in second place there, just driving off again, saying that slightly higher angle, and then driving off again, just trying to keep the yellow boat on their toes, making it difficult for him to always consistently be on their breeze. So doing a good job here, second place here. Sailing that slightly higher, faster angle. If he was to sail dead downwind, he would probably find it was a lot easier for yellow to shadow him, also sail dead downwind, and start to reel him in. So you can see second black boat almost throwing in a bit of a couple of fake jibes there. Again, trying to wrong foot that yellow boat. I would say relatively comfortably, confidently. Well, you never say never in this game. With just coming down to 100 metres to go to the finish. Does look in the bag for blacks here. You can see yellow there. Starting to close that gap up. But the black Barty boat from Coquethorpe can come to the left-hand side of the line. Jibe in, got the option for higher angle if he wants. Crossing the line, so quite a comfortable 1-2. And that was all pretty much from the start. Strong start, one at the pin, one at the boat. Covered the pairs at the beat, extended away. So quite a comfortable 1-2 victory for Coquethorpe. Showing really why they are the top-ranked team. Sailing very impressively thus far. MCS, 2-0 down now. So potentially only facing one race. It's first to 3 wins. So Coquethorpe on the brink of the final. MCS on the brink of elimination here. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Will Coquethorpe mix up their squad again? They've got 3 sailors sailing for them. So whether they bring Joe back, the captain of sailing for this next race, or stick with that strong combination which we saw in that race, we'll see. Just waiting for third race to be set up. So I believe it is the third race is open. Keith Salmons, who everyone will know from K-Sail, a big organiser and supporter of team race events, both school and university and beyond. He's been very helpful in supporting this with the schedules and the results, all on the K-Sail website and Facebook page. So you can see all the results that have been through there and the scheduled matches going forwards in these knockout stages, which we've got today, tomorrow and Thursday in both the under-17 and under-19s. And Keith is also running his races. Probably feels good about doing it from the comfort of his own armchair rather than out at a freezing cold Farmore or Spinnaker. You'd usually find him running sailing events. So who have we got for Coquethorpe? Harrison is still in the mix. And we've got Joe has come back. So Harrison, Proctor and Joe Campbell spin move as he is in this game. So 1:15 to go. Slightly shorter starting sequence than we're used to seeing on the water, but no reason for it to be any longer in this game. And again, 1 minute to go. So last time we did see Cokethorpe hang back a little bit more than the MCS boats. So we'll see if they go for that again. The boats getting stuck into each other. Again, a penalty straight off the bat there for one of the Cokethorpe boats. Don't mind too much about that. As I say, these penalties only sort of slow you down for 10 seconds or so. So with 40 seconds to go, they're not going to mind about getting penalties. Cokethorpe boats getting each other's way there. Not ideal, but again, with 30 seconds to go, doesn't matter too much. It's all about getting yourself in position, just like in real life, where you want to be on the gun, wind it back. Where do you want to be with 5 seconds to go? Where do you want to be with 10 seconds to go? So the Blacks and Cokethorpe really pushing in underneath here. 13 seconds to go. If they've timed this right, they'll be looking pretty strong here. So it's getting under both of the boats. So the blue MCS boat down the left-hand side of the mark. Feeling a little bit vulnerable. I think it'll be okay. You can go 1 second to go. Off they go. So decent start from the blue MCS boat there. Ben Simmons, year 11, getting a nice start off the pin there, leading his pair in off the line, and that's forced the Cokethorpe boat to tack off to the right. Although he's actually looking pretty strong heading out there into decent breeze and potentially a right shift as well. So you can actually see on the water, just like in real life again, there are darker patches on the water which are representative of more wind, although these boats seem to go 6 knots upwind no matter how much wind you're in. So potentially the shifts are more important upwind, I would say, and the pressure more important downwind. So you can see with the flags indicators at the top of the course in the little semicircle, top left of screen. Not too much shift actually, if anything a little bit of a left, on the far left, and a slight twig of right as you get up to the centre of the course by the windward mark. So the Cokethorpe boat that was forced to tack off in the start line, head out to the right, had a bit of a stormer actually. He's coming in a good strong position, just to be mindful of his teammate here, port and starboard. His teammate ducks in as best he can, showing good keyboard skills there to do a nice controlled duck, not hitting his teammate. I'm interested to see what the blue boat here from MCS does. Ben choosing to tack up on the Cokethorpe boat. So with his teammate in last, he'll know he'll need to do something to help his teammate get out of last. The Cokethorpe boat's pretty keen to just to push forward here. It'll be interesting to see if the Cokethorpe boat tacks and takes a penalty, or lets himself be held out. So he's trying to sail away. So potential tactic there could have been for Black just to tack through, accept the penalty, but keep the race progressing. So as we see now, Blue's done a really good job of holding Black out, putting Black back into 4th place, the crucial 4th place. As we're saying, 2v2, it's last boat loses, that's the important thing. So if your teammate's in 4th, as a team you're losing. There's going to be a close duck here from Blue. Ducking behind the Polar Bear from Cokethorpe, I think that's a Polar Bear. And the Polar Bear goes to attack the yellow MCS boat. He's got a windward lure penalty on in there, which he does. But as you can see, yellow has a penalty, but it's just ghosting towards the mark, so keeping the race progressing. So MCS rounding first. So the last 2 races we've seen two sort of dominant display from Cokethorpe. This race is much closer, so MCS definitely in the mix here in 1st place. So 1-4 for MCS, very tight. You see Blue slow down, utilising mark trap, just like in the real team racing we'd see. And choosing to go around the mark, but I think Blue will still look to attack the Polar Bear from Cokethorpe. Give penalties, and you see pirate ship at the back, very menacing, doing all he can to put penalties on the yellow MCS boat, slow him down. What is quite powerful on these runs is if you can just get to the left of someone, flicking a jibe into them, it seems to be pretty powerful for that sort of rules-wise, rightly or wrongly. Not sure really, rules 15 and 16 seem to work too much in this game. They have got better actually, in fairness, over time. Definitely used to be you could just jibe straight into someone and give them a penalty. Now MCS really hanging on here. Can Blue get into the zone ahead of the Polar Bear? If they can, he'll sort of own the zone and be able to hold him back, get his teammate through. And he needs to see some good keyboard skills here, and indeed, so the Polar Bear getting a penalty. So crucial for Blue there was just to get to the zone, get the rights, own the zone, hit back on the Polar Bear, give him a penalty. So Polar Bear now at the back, Pirate Ship at the front. So a very, very good race so far, at least. Interestingly, Blue Boat's kind of chosen to go a little bit Lone Ranger, the middle of the beat. There's a little bit of a left shift coming, but they've left Polar Bear, was at the back to their own devices. You may have wondered if it would be better for Blue to stick with Polar Bear, or Yellow Boat to stick with him as they come up this beat, but they're probably just backing themselves to sail quickly, sail on the lifted shift, and hope they can get to the mark ahead. And again, we can see a situation where Pirate Ship has Yellow locked underneath, so in real sailing, obviously Yellow would be stuck there, but in this game, you can tack, take the penalty and keep going, but actually Pirate Ship's chosen to tack anyway. And now we'll see a mark trap, so sails out, slowing down, owning the zone, looking to give a penalty to one or both of these boats. That's the Blue Boat that gets the penalty there. Now you're going to get Yellow as well. So really impressive work from Harrison there, giving both the MCS boats a penalty, which is going to potentially put his team into a 1-2. However, it's going to be a very close 1-2. So spin move, Joe and the Polar Bear is going to have to work very, very hard to keep himself in second place. And you can also already see the effect of Yellow chasing hard, meaning that Polar Bear's had to go real high, which has allowed the Blue Boat from MCS to sail through, potentially into second place, which then gives Blue the option to keep attacking first or come back and help his teammate. And actually Polar Bear's spin move's got a penalty there, so he drops to the back. So now Harrison first, just been sailing along, minding his own business, and now going to have to get involved. The question he'll be asking is, can he slow the Blue Boat down enough, or will he think about going back for Yellow? Now that he's got a penalty, that choice has probably been taken out of his hands. He's probably going to have to go back and attack the Yellow Boat from MCS. If he doesn't, he's really leaving it all on his teammate to do his best to overtake. You see a good battle in both pairs here. Everyone attacking, everyone defending. Blue MCS boat, again, is he going to attack back to the Pirate Ship, or is he going to back his teammate to keep Polar Bear behind him? And now Pirate Ship is starting to hit back, going to look to sweep Yellow here, so he's got himself in a good position there, real nice position to do what's called sweeping. Although Yellow's got some good speed there all the way over the top, and actually a penalty on the Cokethorpe boat. That Yellow MCS boat's had a bit of a stormer here. This could be the start of a big comeback for MCS. Come towards the line, it is MCS to take it out 1-2. Cokethorpe, bit of a shock to the system there. They've had it all their own way the first two races, ending up in a 3-4. That takes the scoreline to 2-1. I've got to say, that was a pretty fantastic race. Already getting a sore throat talking about that. Nice job. So 1-2 for MCS there. Their confidence will be up. And maybe the strategy of just having two sailors as opposed to three sailors rotating round is starting to pay off there as they're sort of getting into it, getting into the conditions. Their keyboard fingers nice and warmed up. The communications between the two of them will be pretty good as there's only two of them to think about. So it could be an advantage for MCS as we go into this fourth race. Cokethorpe, though, still just one race away. They won't be too worried. They're still in the position they'd want to be in. 2-1 up. They know they just need to win one of these next two races. MCS need to win both of them if they're going to progress. But they'll be feeling confident, definitely, after that last race. Some really good work on that last run. So we're just waiting for race number 4 to be set up. Let's probably expect to see Cokethorpe continue with their squad rotation system. So we probably won't see both Polar Bear and Pirate Ship. Quite nice having symbols on the sails there. We can refer to them nice and easily. So race 204, race number 4 in this semi-final is open. Keith Salmons, race officer extraordinaire, opening up the 4th race. He's obviously happy with the wind conditions. Can go racing. So Polar Bear's back in the game. We've lost Pirate Ship. So for Cokethorpe, for this race, we've got Barty Gray, lower 6th, year 12, Laser Youth Squad Sailor, and Spin Move, Joe, captain of sailing at Cokethorpe. So of course, Cokethorpe and MCS both sail at Farmore Reservoir near Oxford. So they'll be used to sailing with and against each other, or at least seeing each other on the real water, now clashing on the virtual water. So this will all feel quite familiar to them. So again, straight into the pre-start action. Boats circling around. Part of the reason for circling around is so they don't get too far away from the star line. Time and distance is a really good skill. Helpfully in this game, if you've paid for all the I won't say cheats, the helps, the tokens, just give you time and distance to the line, which can definitely help. So this time, interestingly, the Cokethorpe boats are the two that are in slightly earlier, slightly switch of strategy there. In previous races tended to be the ones pushing in, but that strategy did lead to one of their boats being slightly late. So they're taking the leading in approach here. The yellow MCS boat getting in amongst it, trying to inflict a penalty. The Polar Bear's going to be pretty close to that one. Just got away with it. So not seen any boats be over yet. First port and starboard coming up here. Black juice attack underneath. So the boat's doing very nicely there to avoid getting penalties from each other. And I would say Cokethorpe with a slight upper hand here. The yellow is able to tack off. Polar Bear's pretty committed out to the left. So potentially they're just looking to extend to potentially get across or wait for this pair to tack off. But of course they could choose to tack and duck behind. But the blue boat, Ben, from MCS, year 11 sailor, he'll be happy where he is, up in his pair, tacking up on the Cokethorpe boat. Bring all three boats together, so we'll see how yellow and blue manage this now. And blue tackling his teammate, possibly not the greatest strategy there. Potentially would have liked to see yellow tack off there, leave blue in a slightly stronger position covering the Cokethorpe boat. Tight cross here, Polar Bear, ooh, not quite getting across, very close, Spin Move. Joe, captain of sailing there, the Polar Bear, ice cool. What we have got here, though, is another good race. We've got the blue boat Ben up on this right-hand side. Not sure what flag that is on his sail. Interesting. Potentially in the first place. Well, actually, Cyrus, to be fair to him, on the left-hand side, also progressing well. Not far off a 1-2 here for MTS. That'll be quite a switch around from the first two races, where we saw them in a 3 and 4, kind of following around, not much control of the race. So what will be interesting as we approach this mark is whether the Cokethorpe boat on the left, Barty, can get overlapped in the zone, potentially have rights on yellow and look to inflict penalties, or will yellow get in clear ahead? You've also, of course, got blue coming in on starboard here. Although weirdly sometimes this game seems to give the boat on port rights over the boat on starboard, but anyway. Nice job there by MCS, to be fair. Managed that very nicely. Rounding the 1-2. Blue, though, to compromise a bit of speed. Just doing enough to hold on. So yellow and blue, the MCS2, in a 1-2 position as we go onto this first downwind leg. So windward leeward course. Going around the left-hand gate as we look downwind. Blue really nicely there, coming round. Aware there's going to be a boat really straight away on his breeze, so coming round, jibing, taking a nice high angle, looking for clear air here. What that is doing, though, we've seen this happen before, is that's allowed the Polar Bear in stealth mode to sail straight down. Definitely potentially into second place, but importantly, out of fourth and in a position. They were 3 and 4 going into this to disrupt the race, and actually Polar Bear is potentially going to go all the way through, Spin Move, Joe, into first. So now he's in a powerful position. He can look to do some mark traps. He's got the zone first, he's got all the rights there. Rule 18 is his friend. Yellow trying to do the same. And actually yellow picking up a penalty. So potentially yellow going outside of the zone there, re-entering the zone. So losing their mark room rights by going out of the zone, resetting it, coming back in, picking up a penalty. But one of the Cokethorpe boats, Barty, also picking up a penalty, sort of even that situation out. So really good race here. Cokethorpe up in a pair, MCS up in a pair. Polar Bear, Cokethorpe boat just switching across the pair there. He could have chosen to stay with the blue boat. Potentially thought he could cross the whole fleet there and take the advantage of being on the right, so that starboard advantage, rather than risking coming left with blue, potentially having to come back across on port. So blue, real good keyboard skills there, nice duck, put him in a good position. Spin move still, it's the Polar Bear, in a nice strong position above. So again, quite an unbalanced race here. Cokethorpe do have 4th place, but they have 1st place. He's got 2 opportunities, 2 boats to think about attacking. Go into the zone with right. Inflicting a penalty on the first MCS boat. And still close, slowing down there. Potentially, he might have slowed down a little bit too much there. Picked up a penalty, which is interesting, rules-wise. Yeah, Polar Bear got a bit slowed there, not too sure what happened there. That's allowed MCS into a 1-2, but a really, really tight 1-2 going onto the run. Both similar to last time, jibing, coming up high. A nice way to defend, I think, going into this run rather than just bearing away, allowing the other boat straight onto your breeze. So this battle for the left-hand side, really crucial for both the boats attacking and defending. You can get to left of a boat, you can keep your wind clear, but also have the option to be jibing back onto starboard. So one of the Cokethorpe boats picking up a penalty, back and forth. So Joe in the Polar Bear, again finding himself sailing through, sneaking through into 1st place, he's sailing nice and deep on the run, battling one on his breeze. But the MCS are still winning this race in 2nd and 3rd. Remember, it's the 4th place that's crucial. 2-boat team racing. If your teammate's in 4th, you've really got to try and help get them through, or rely on them to get themselves through. At the moment, I would say yellow doing a good job, again, as we said, staying to the left of the other boat. And as we say that, the Cokethorpe boat just sneaking around underneath to the left, looking to nudge up if he can. So no rule 17 in this race, you can come in from behind and luff. We're picking up another penalty there, Barty. So now Polar Bear's going to have to go to town on blue, and actually he's probably just gone a little bit too far there. Potentially blue rolling over the top. What does Polar Bear do now? Can he get across to yellow? He's given up on blue. And I think yellow's going to get over the top there. I think my money's on MCS here to square it up 2-all. So the top ranked team, undefeated team, Cokethorpe, in danger here. They were 2-0 up. It's now 2-all. So exciting. I'm going to have to go and get a glass of water. So here we are. Expect for the thousands of people watching live. I know I'm on the edge of my seat. Expect you all must be too. Very exciting. It was 2-0 to Cokethorpe, but looking like a bit of a dull affair. But these last 2 races, spectacular. MCS, fair play, brought it back to 2 apiece. So it's a 1-race showdown to decide who will get through to the final of the under-19 section of this BSDRA eSailing Team Racing Championship. And PRO, Keith Salmons, has set up the race. Again, he must be happy with the wind conditions and the course that he's laid. There we go. Now, all these teams take a little bit of time to get in, compose themselves, make sure their Wi-Fi is on full power. Of course, there's no real risk of capsizing or gear failure here, but there is a risk of dropping out of the game, which we have seen happen in a number of occasions. We'll cross that bridge if and when we come to it, which hopefully we won't. So, who's in for Cokethorpe? They kept their squad rotation system going. We've lost Polar Bear, which is a shame, because I quite liked having the Polar Bear sailing around. Got the pirate ship back, Skull and Crossbones. So we've got Barty and Harrison sailing for Cokethorpe in this decisive race, and still just the two MCS sailors. As I said, maybe the fact they've had the same two sailors through these races, Cyrus and Ben, has paid off for them. So here we go with a minute to go. Deciding race. Who is your money on? Well, I would think the momentum is certainly with MCS. They were 2-0 down. It's now 2 apiece. They'll be feeling confident going to this. Cokethorpe, though, I think they've just got to back the fact they are the top-ranked team in this competition. They've won the first 2 races comfortably. They'll know if they can execute what they're capable of doing. They're more than capable of winning this race and taking the match. I think MCS will be feeling pretty pumped for this. Pirate ship, pirate by name, pirate by nature, going in underneath, giving away a penalty there. Or giving a penalty. Interestingly, if one of the boats is in ghost mode or penalty mode, if you can sit yourself on top of them, you can often inflict longer or additional penalties. So a bit of a split on the start line though. The 2 MCS boats up towards the starboard, or one of the MCS boats over. So that's the first time we've seen an OCS. I need to plug my laptop in. That wouldn't be good. Oh, save that. So one of the MCS boats was over the line, had to get back. That's put them into 4th place. As we said, 4th place crucial. But actually, really nicely, his teammate immediately getting stuck in, coming back to try and help him. Trying to get the lock onto the black Cokethorpe boat. That'll allow his teammate to tack out. So a really good job there from Ben in the blue MCS boat. That locking position always difficult. You want to be close enough to stop them tacking, but not so close that you risk windward leeward. And again, we'll see Cokethorpe trying to do almost what MCS were doing to them. So this soap dish situation, pirate ship coming in over the top, trying to affect the blue boat. And blue boat being forced to tack off. It's now going to be a very tight port starboard cross here on the right hand side. So Cokethorpe getting across there. So now Cokethorpe potentially up in both pairs here. What will be interesting to see is whether yellow has a piece of pirate ship as pirate ship comes back on port. So we'll see that happen just about now. Obviously his 2 teammates need to be a little bit careful not getting each other's way, so good keyboard skills important here. Blue having to duck. Yellow carrying on. Pirate ship choosing not to cover. So he must feel relatively happy, but now he does tack up and will probably look to tack back again onto yellow. So Cokethorpe up in 2 pairs here, but again it's very, very close. So potentially a 1-2, but definitely not a clear 1-2. Port starboard here. I quite like their black, just actually while he was still a fair distance away from yellow, just put his bow down a little more. Potentially took away the duck option for yellow. Let's not worry about the rules there, let's worry about the positioning. Quite a nice move there. Port starboard there. Penalty on yellow. So Cokethorpe trying to find their mettle a bit again here from being 2-0 up. Dragged back to 2-all. But now they've got themselves back into that position they found themselves in the first 2 races. First and second, with a little bit of breathing space. Going on to the first run. Yellow. The MCS are very well disciplined, as you'd probably expect to see from MCS sailors, on what they do when they round the mark. So either going high onto the breeze of the boat they're trying to attack, or on the flip side, if they were ahead, we saw them jibe, head high to clear their breeze initially. But again, we're seeing this shakeout where one pair ends up going high into the left, allowing the boat in 4th to sail. On this occasion, the blue boat from MCS sail down the run and get past them. So it's tricky. I guess you've got to play to certainties if you're the boat that is heading to left, which is to stay ahead of your pair, If the other boat gets through, so be it. He's sailed quite nicely here, because what he's hoping to do is he's got enough left to defend against yellow, he's come back at the right time to actually be able to get inside the mark. Very close. Just didn't quite get to the zone ahead of blue. Doing a good job though not to get the penalty. Blue might get Ray inside here. Just. Well, tables have turned again. Penalties on both the Cokethorpe boats. So they were looking comfortable on the 1-2, but that lure mark has not gone too well for them there. Not quite sure how that all shook out, but we've seen a 1-2 for Cokethorpe turn into a 3-4. But it's all going to come down to that last run. I think we're going to see a close finish here. Drinking some more water to contain my excitement. So again, we'll see the two boats ahead, MCS boats, nicely pairing off here. One boat covering one of the Cokethorpe boats each. Cokethorpe trying to shake away from that a little bit. Close cross here, port and starboard. Pirate ship going for the duck. Strong keyboard skills again. So the blue boat. Ben from MCS rounding first. Yellow, a little bit of a slow tack there. Themselves vulnerable. But the penalty going on the pirate ship, Cokethorpe. Yellow will be pretty relieved there, I think. They were really breathing down their neck. Now they're going to have a little bit of breathing space. So you'll probably see the yellow boat, as they have done, come round, jibe, exit the mark high. Which of course they don't do, as I've said it. Carry on a little bit there, now jibing, now sailing high to clear his breeze. So the longer yellow can keep a bit of clear air away from the black boats, the more comfortable they'll be. But already we're seeing the black boats start to reel them in. Yellow's having to go defensive now, sailing high. Again, trying to that battle almost for the left-hand side of this run between the attacking boat and the defending boat, and actually the Cokethorpe boats just managed to sneak off through that left-hand side. And there we see, we talked about it earlier, that ability to get that jibe in, just on someone's left-hand hip, get that jibe in, port starboard. Suddenly Cyrus now finds himself at the back. So MCS were 1-2, but this can change so quickly. Ben's now going to have to make some choices, come back. He's got to help his teammate out. His teammate's in fourth. That is a losing position for the team. First and fourth won't be good enough. So again, that pair at the back, battling away. Yellow picking up another penalty. So pirate ship has just been left to his own devices here, sail through, don't worry about you, I'm just going to attack that one boat at the back. That's what Blue's thinking, try and get my teammate in yellow through. So whether pirate ship will hang around, probably to the left-hand side of the finish as we look down. See if he can be of any help when we come into the finish, because his teammate has been 2-on-1 at the back. He's probably going to come into this finish in fourth, although just inflicting a penalty on Blue there. So can Yellow get across? Black in position to be able to get that jibe in. This is very tense. This is going to be all four boats finishing within a second of each other, I reckon. So Yellow in a nice position again there, just to the left-hand side. Probably in a position if he goes for the luff now to put a penalty on Black. Yeah, Black getting a penalty there. I think this might be all over for Cokethorpe, because MCS can just ghost through the line here. So MCS will come back from 2-0 down with 4 franks to knock out undefeated Cokethorpe. Sensational scenes. Unbelievable. Well done MCS. 2-0 down to 3-2. Fair play into the final. Well, I must say, after those first two relatively straightforward races, the last three were absolute corkers. MCS winning the last 3 races, going on into Thursday's final. Wow. Well, I don't know if I can take much more excitement, but there is another semi-final coming up in about 9 or 10 minutes' time. The second semi-final, Ride Senior Team against RHS Blue. But for now, I'd say congratulations to MCS, to Cyrus and Ben, for overcoming the very strong Cokethorpe team. But well done to Cokethorpe for progressing to this stage, for winning stage 1. They'll live to fight another day in a third, fourth playoff. So although they'll be a little bit disappointed with that from being 2-0 up, they'll get another chance for some more exciting racing. So well done, MCS. Commiseration, Coke Thorpe, and we look forward to the next semi-final.